To see me in there, so the red, orange, and yellow guy should be a little bit of a background behind me. Sorry, did it flip around or something on us?
No, that's all right.
So, in a nutshell, I'm the red, orange, and yellow, which means that we're looking for blue and black. Those are going to be our cold spots. There's always going to be blue and black in there. We're looking for it to take shape or to start moving. When I say take shape, I want moving arms and legs and basically head and shoulders. That's what we're looking for out of this guy. And Lauren, like, you look a little worried. Are you okay over there? She's like, oh my God, what the hell did we sign up for? What did we sign up for? So the cool thing for your video that you're going to get back is there's also a blue dot inside the frame. What it's going to do is it's going to bounce around showing you the coldest spot in the frame at that moment. It is 84 degrees out here for ambient, so I'm going to be looking for 15 plus degree temperature drops out of that blue dot. So what does that equate to? Is that 71? No, 69. 69 degrees. That's what I'm looking for out of that one and colder. So if we don't get a blue anomaly walking towards us, we might actually have a 69 degree cold spot. But what we'll do is make sure it's not a windshield or a beer can on the ground or something crazy like that. We're going to be doing a few steps. You can hit your record button as well. Just be mindful of the cars in the area. And we do not go near vehicles at all. That goes in front of them, in between them, so forth and so on. And there are people walking just behind you. So be mindful of those of you with cameras, the 3 young ladies that are going to come in by. They don't want to be filmed. All right, let's spread out. Let's see what we got going on. I'm going to keep Jackson behind, so London can show him more about how to use that device. And let's see who we're going to go. Yep, just go ahead and tap it. Unclick it. This one's actually probably one of the hardest ones. That's it. So, things where we come through.
Where are we heading, dear?
Zero downtime.
Zero downtime.
That's gotta be a car advert. Alright. Tell me about your garden. Now you guys know the story. I'm with him right now.
Understand your stuff, right?
I think so.
You just amazed with the static?
I can hear a lot, but it's not answered my question so far. No.
Can't use my German lines under my breath anymore. Normally, because I did take German for 2 years, I would just, like, when someone's being an idiot, I would just, like,
That's very rude.
yeah. I know.
It's actually funny because it's kind of an insult that it's kind of an elementary school insult at the same time.
My mom taught, the first thing I learned was Du bist ein Dummkopf,
Yeah.
which my mom taught me because that was the one thing she remembered from her German classes.
But that's more something you would say to, like, someone you're actually quite fond of. So, like, he might hear it from you.
Do?
I do it right now. Alright, I heard the word God twice.
We're in the, like,
The Holy City.
Bible Belt.
Yeah.
Bible Belt.
So how does this work? I was listening, but...
Have you watched Transformers?
No. Oh, wait, yeah. Yeah. Have
Bumblebee.
I? Well, maybe.
Bumblebee.
The yellow
Biggie.
car?
Yep. He doesn't have, like, an actual voice box, so he uses the radios, and he talks that way.
No, I understood that, but how does this device work? Is it just filtered through the channels?
Yep.
Okay.
So it's not quite Bumblebee because Bumblebee goes like seeking for the word that he needs.
Yeah.
This just scrolls.
Okay, you said that, and I got artificial intelligence
Yeah, there you go.
in that moment.
Yeah.
That's freaky.
Laura, what do you got going on? Anything yet? Sometimes you have to look at the scene. Granted, we're not near a church, but we're a religious family. Normally, you guys don't hear all this religious stuff until we get to St. Philip, which kind of goes over later on. Then you start noticing like Bible, pastor, pew, like all of those type of religious terms that will start to show up. So it's not like a subliminal thing. Whenever I see a church, I'm going to hear it's just that's the way it works. So again, if anything specific sticking out, like any names, are they speaking anything of the Bible? Like,
Just heard God.
fair enough. That's not as religious as it gets,
Yeah.
right? So, and of course, let him hear what you're hearing too. So I know he's Mr. Skeptic over here, but you'll start to put the clues together as well when you start to hear the gist of it.
He's got really bad ADD. I think his mind's
Got it. And with that particular camera, it's not always a real-time follow-up because it is so small. We're getting ready to upgrade that to an iPad, so it is a little bit more, tangible. But again, I put those up on YouTube, so you can watch them however you want to. Yes, ma'am.
Little dude said he got 57.8.
Nice. Cody is his name, not Little
bad.
Dude.
Names.
57.
Provides a broad support system.
Say that again?
Provides a broad support system. Oh, and I got something about community resources earlier when we were standing over there talking. So that's a theme.
And bears, you kept saying that.
I did. I kept getting bears and forest for a while. But that felt like a very personal dose.
Yeah. And again, you guys bring ghosts all the time. So when I get vets, it doesn't matter what piece of history I tell. It's about whoever they lost overseas.
Yeah.
So I get it all the time. So, and I tell them flat out, like, and they tell me, oh, I'm a vet. Or if they come, uniformed up, fatigues, and I'm like, you lost anybody overseas? They're like, yep. I'm like, we'll see how this goes. So I just kind of give them a heads up. Like, here's what it is. You can't make it up. If it happens, it happens. So, but again, with that camera, it is fun to watch. But again, it's always about when I watch it on the computer because it's a much bigger screen. But you guys can watch it on your TV sets if you want to because they're on YouTube. So that's the
I'm
nice
just
thing
trying to
about
keep it below the horizon.
Yeah, it's hard in this space. Just do your best. And it is your video. So, and that's the thing. It's like, I'm going to spot check it. So, again, every 5 minutes, I watch 2 minutes of it, but it's in 1 minute real time because I double take it and kind of see if there's any anomalies moving in there. It's actually easier to watch a thermal in double time, believe it or not.
Yeah, I'm getting
just
a
because
lot
of what it is.
community stuff. I just got collectively.
It's a lot of, like, themed, like, now you're back on the religious piece again, too, if you think about it. So it's just in a much different way. Obviously churches are communities and they're collective and kind of on a theme here. Nothing to me is relevant, but at least it's a theme and you're getting the gist.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of why I do a round robin, especially with this space, because if you can't capture something here or hear something here, you're just going to struggle with it all night long. So, and that's when we move it to somebody else in your party. So,
No, this speaks to my strengths.
so I'm usually pretty good about picking you guys out that way. Whitney, you got anything going on at all?
He said flock.
What'd you get?
Oh, that's my old neighbor's name. That's weird. He just moved out.
Whoa.
Did he die? Is that how he moved out?
No, I so hope he's doing well. He's in Atlanta.
Okay, Bobby Joe,
What
you
did you
got
hear?
anything going on
What?
there?
What did you hear?
Ghosts.
Who are you gonna call? Nick.
All right, guys, let's rein it in over back to the wall. We're going to be discussing one next after this one. So you guys see me in the month of March. No big deal. Let's see, any other communication devices? I think we got everything covered. Perfect. All right, so go ahead. Did she show you how to clear that? Turn the green dial until it shuts off and turn it back on again?
Oh yeah.
So you're going to be looking for the letters R-I in here specifically. I'll explain that here in just a little second.
It almost looks like there's somebody standing next to her.
Anyway, not super impressed with what we
Oh
have
my
so far. I
goodness.
do like the We Are Here. That's always a great one. So where did she go? I lost her.
I left them.
Oh, she's back there. So those of you with cameras, in the event that people want to need to cut through us, they're either going to come out of that ivy wall,
You can-
or they're gonna
yeah,
come
look.
the way we came in. So what happens when another tour needs to pass by? We split the scenes to let them go by.
Who's got the better
and
camera?
then we get back to what we are doing. So again, we're going to stay at this location for about 5 minutes, maybe 7. I'm going to rush through this one because it is super hot down here, just so you guys know. So again, if I feel like I'm talking super fast to try to get through the history,
showing up right
it's
here.
only because we're not going to be investigating the space entirely. We're going to be going to a close proximity next to hopefully get answers from here. So every tour comes down here. This is the space I'm taking out next year. Every year I change this up. I take out one space and add one new one. Every year.
He's got a cold spot right between the two of them there.
BOBBI-JO and
Lauren.
Lauren.
Yeah.
So how cold are we talking? Is it just blue?
It looks vaguely like figure-like.
Is it still there?
It kind of comes and goes.
Comes and goes.
83.
And you're recording?
Yep.
Perfect. I'll make note to watch it in a much bigger screen. Not that I'm not excited about it, but again, I want to see it on a bigger
I'm
screen. to
excited.
analyze it. So, perfect. I love it. We don't like to have the camera on that every single time. I love how you guys are taking selfies with that camera. So,
Us?
yeah, I think it's funny. Like you're like slowly scanning everybody. I think it's fun. So, yeah, because that's a fun camera. So, Bobby Joe's looking at me like, "What are you saying?" So, yeah, just have fun with it. That's
Okay,
all.
there's definitely something
It also
there
looks
because
like
I just got to all the people standing.
Let that light be.
Hold up.
So let me tell you
Nick?
why we're here.
I just got to all the people standing really clearly.
Nice. And we're going to have a couple coming through us here in just a moment. So we're going to have to separate.
That's
but
freaking awesome.
I wonder what that is going to mean. That means Whitney missed something in real time, so hopefully we get the rest of that message, whatever
you
that
said,
means.
I was really excited about her singing "We Are Here." It said "We Are."
Hopefully we have more than one person here.
Okay. Go, Tony.
Yep.
Yep.
I just got the name Chris.
Chris. There you go. Should be much brighter now.
You think you're
So we'll
funny.
leave that on at least until the next stop, and then we'll switch it back to the camera.
Okay.
Perfect. All right, so like I said, every ghost tour comes down here. I'm going to take the same piece of history that they talk about, but you're going to get a little bit more detail from me because we're ghost hunting, not doing campfire, marshmallow, ghost camp kind of stories, if you get my point. So this is Philadelphia Alley. This used to be called Jewelers Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. So I say some of them because dueling was illegal in the 1700s and they had to find hiding spots. This happened to be one of them. So let's get into the story of the one we can actually prove. So do you have something on there, BOBBI-JO?
No, I just said that's just.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just like.
All right. So there's a doctor that moves down here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. For those of you that are listening to your spirit boxes, if you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, we get it here all the time because it's part of his name. It's not coincidence. I should be mainly looking at the two of you because you're the ones with the earbuds in. So with that said, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of this cash flow that she just received. The attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after Amanda's money. He tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. Dr. Ladd comes to Charleston to prove that he's not after her cash. So on his way into town, the coachman set him up to be robbed again. So we'll just put that on. With that said, somebody was walking by and seeing exactly what was about to happen. That person's name was Ralph Isaacs. I stop on Ralph for just a moment, simply because Ralph has the same initials as where the doctor came from. Rhode Island, Ralph Isaacs. So you must come to me off. So I was getting the letters RI all the time on the 2 red spirit boxes. So I bought the device that Jackson has. I wanted to get the exact letters to make sure I wasn't just hearing things. I can't tell you how many times we've had the letters RI come up when I'm talking about Ralph Isaacs. And it's in that consecutive order. That's exactly why you're looking for it. It's an R. It's big, but it's still an R. Now, Ralph tells the doctor, dude, you don't want to stay here. I know this guy. He's got a gunman inside, and he's going to try to kill you and take all your money. Come with me. You can rent a room from friends of mine at 59 Church Street. So 59 shows up here a lot, too, for you Spirit Box listeners. Now, he takes him up on the offer, and the two become friends. The longer the doctor stays here in Charleston, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's cash. So, Dr. Ladd, well, Amanda got wind of this, and she's coming down so they can get married, and Dr. Ladd became known as the Whistling Doctor. Here's what I'm going to tell you about whistling ghosts. Every haunted city has one. It's a cliche. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So whenever you go visit another city, they're going to tell you about a whistling ghost. It's almost a guarantee. So there's proof of this one, and we're going to get to that later on. But back to Dr. Ladd and Ralph. They go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. He gets better seats. That's just the way the hierarchy works here. However, on the way home from seeing Richard III, they're arguing over the new actress. Dr. Ladd thought she was great. Ralph did not. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It gets very ugly. They go their separate ways. Now, you figured that Ralph has friends around town. He goes to see his friends at the newspaper. He puts an ad in the paper telling the whole city what he thinks of Dr. Ladd. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of mentality. The doctor saw the ad, but rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this. I want you to keep in mind that this whole argument started over an actress. I know it turned into insults on his fiancée, but it started with an actress. Anyway, the two gentlemen come down. They take their 10 paces away from each other. And the doctor turned and pointed his gun in the air and shot his one bullet. He didn't want to kill his friend. He just wanted to have the courage and bravery to show up to the fight. But Ralph had his one bullet, and he puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. Dr. Ladd doesn't die. And he drops to the ground where his friends picked him up, took him home to 59 Church Street, where he dies 10 days later after refusing medical treatment on November 2nd of 1786. Now, why did he refuse medical treatment? He's a doctor. He probably thought it was, just lead poisoning. It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different. We're going to let this tour pass by because we're going to go about halfway down.
I realized that the crazy numbers I thought I saw were just reflecting.
Okay. Good. See? Good luck. That's why I keep you around. So, again, every tour will tell you to obviously listen for the whistles while you're down here. So, we have 3 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If the whistles are going to be there, it'll be on one of those 3 cameras or my voice recorder. However, your spirit boxes will also give us clues to whistles. We get whistling parts of songs with the word doctor immediately after. So take that for what it's worth. And it's just a whistle. I get little ones here and there. But every once in a while we'll get like a little tune or a melody. But again, it is always this quiet, even on a busy Saturday afternoon. It's also one of the most picturesque places we have in all of Charleston. So you can look down the alleyway right now and see it is absolutely stunningly gorgeous. So this is one of my favorite places. If you're going to try this on your own and use your voice recorders from your phones and hopefully capture a whistle later on, just keep in mind every local knows this story. Anybody walking up and down Queen Street on this side and Cumberland on this side throws a whistle down the alley. Me and London do it every single morning. To our garage, we passed it when we got here, but our office is that way. So we have to pass the alley on our way here, and we throw a whistle every time we got kicked out of here, right, Lil? Yeah, I thought so. So here's how this goes. I did get kicked out of here, and we're going to talk about that because that's the fun part of the story. You two should remember this. They're already laughing. Look. So first thing you need to know is that the alley didn't go all the way through this way. There was a wall halfway between us and Cumberland Street, which is exactly why I stopped here at the gate. So the reason why is because this is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. It used to be called Cow Alley. Again, just picture cows and chickens and anything you can eat that comes down here. So that's what was here. So that means the bricks on the other side, way down by Queen Street, are older than the ones we're standing on. They're sun-dried bricks from slave children. So that means they literally turn those bricks in the sun to bake them. They didn't put them in an oven. There's a full handprint from a slave trowel down at the end, and fingerprint swipes and others. And I'd always point it out, just to show how far we've come from slavery, no matter the diversity of my group, because we all need to see it. However, I know that kid's not there. I treat that brick the exact same way I do a grave. that's the last place you're going to find that poor kid. He's at home with his mama. Like, that's how things go. So, November 26th of 2020, my entire group of 10 is huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen with their gizmos, right? Of all the stuff I handed out to you, I know nothing's going to happen. I'm trying to shoo them along, also because it's outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful to the owner of that house. I didn't know I was out of bounds for tours. So, the new owner came out screaming. London thought it was fantastic because Dad's getting yelled at, and we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't work on Thanksgiving because I worked in retail management for over 20 years, mainly for Walmart and upper management. I don't do Thanksgiving anymore. You can all see why. Now, the next day was November 28th, and yes, the date's irrelevant. I'm going to get to it. I called my partner that I had at the time, who brought me into tourism, and I told him what happened. He also laughed at me the same way London did. And he said, dude, you can only go down halfway, which is exactly where that tour stopped, because that's our cutoff point for tours this time of night. He said, you're either going to have to reroute or only go down up to halfway. I decided I'm going to reroute the group. What I told that group was, I don't believe in the next story, because nothing's ever happened with my gear over there, and I'm a vampire guy, not a pirate person. We're talking about pirates next, in case you didn't pick up on that. So, before we left, somebody hears the name Anne on a spirit box. I did not tell them which female pirate we were going to be discussing, a female at all, but it was Anne Bonny. It's who we're going to be talking about next. So I was kind of excited. Now, when we get up there, I did tell them the little bit I did know about piracy, because remember, I had less than 24 hours to do quick research and to come up with a quick story, and tickets were much cheaper back then, by the way, so I could wing it when I needed to. But anyway, we get up there, and somebody else hears the number 300 come out of a spirit box. I don't know what it means. I write it down, just like I do for you guys. I researched it. We were there on November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy, November 28th of 1720, the exact 300th anniversary of her pirate trial. So, I do get a lot of those oh wow and a couple of jaw drops, but I was actually pissed off. Here's why. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Even writing fiction, I like facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore that was written 100 years after the alleged time that it actually happened. So, you have something that's... Oh, sorry, I didn't know if she heard something or if you had a word.
She has a word.
What's the word?
No.
What's the word?
Praise.
Well, we're near the church. So, who did I talk to about the religious terms? Told you we were going to start seeing those. So we're near the St. Philip's Church, our tallest steeple. So it's a common thing that we see here. Laura was hearing a lot of religious terms back over by the Pinckney Mansion site as well. So, but they were religious people who belonged to St. Philip's Church. So again, it's not uncanny for me to hear that. But anyway, so with this whole pirate story that we're going to next, it is a hit or miss location. Anne is said to be seen all over town. Of course, I'll explain to you why we're there. Secondly, we'll be able to spread out, but you're also going to hopefully get things.
I just heard it again.
What's that?
We are right here.
We are right here. Somebody wants to let you know they're here. Nick, you need to be pointing your camera over at them two to see if you got anything right next to them. The gate, because Jackson was actually asking me about the gate and what's with the courtyard over here. So the gate was in the event there was a loser to the duel. Remember, that the alley did not go all the way through this way. So if there was a loser, this was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of this wall right here. Otherwise, they have to walk all the way down to the end of the alley by Queen Street and then loop around, like double back, with a dead body. Because there was a loser to a duel to put them into the cemetery. So this is what I call the death gate because it's a shortcut. So again, kind of keep that in mind. The wrought iron gate probably wasn't there, probably early 1900s, but when you guys walk by it, you can definitely see that the archway is part of the original wall. So I say, Nick, are you ready? This is my punny of the night. We're going to go learn about some rated R pirates. Are you guys ready for this? Somebody got it. Good deal. Thanks, Damon. I appreciate that.
You didn't finish saying, I think, why you were pissed off about the creative writing?
Oh, I didn't, because you guys interrupted.
I didn't interrupt.
Yeah, she
I
interrupted. I was, because as
wrapped.
a writer, I like facts and data. Pirate stories are lore, which means I have to read a shit ton about pirates of things I wasn't interested in at the time. Like, it was like, damn it, pirates. Where am I going to get, like, a good story? That's the reason
Gotcha.
why.
All right.
So, but again, everything we're going to be discussing at the next location, minimum of 2 resources. I wanted to make sure we had as much factual data as I could possibly come up with. It is a very interesting story for sure, though. All right, rated R pirates, here we come. You guys ready?
All right.
Keep your cameras running. We're going to be ready to go right around the
Keep the
corner.
cameras running. Okay. Still running.
We're everywhere. So we're
It's
everywhere.
really worrying.
They're here. They're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Had like a temperature of 9.
Shit you not. Was that the answer you saw?
Was it?
That's Remy. We were anticipating.
I couldn't. Well, actually, I probably did.
Tell him.
Is it on? Wait, turn that on. I don't care if it's biased. It's cool.
Bias?
Like why I'm here this one. Crenshaw. Oh. I'm Crenshaw. Free steak. It's Crenshaw, man.
Just like parking lots.
9744. That's the ghost.
Yeah. Good thing you got a good memory.
What?
I think you got a good memory.
No, but I want to see the inside so bad. I know it. This is where
Somebody's got some BioShock music going. That's appropriate.
Robert E. Yeah, one of those Confederate guys.
Robert A. Lee's in the Mills House. Remember? He's in that.
Right about that.
Calhoun. Is it James Calhoun is in this one?
John.
John Calhoun.
Robert E. Lee at the Mills House?
That's
Yeah,
what
it
it
is.
said. That's what that guy
Coming out of the alleyway, I got were those the answers you saw, which is very weird. And then just now I got 9744 coming into the parking lot.
Laura, you're very good at this.
I'm just good at listening.
What was that you said? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. That's my husband.
What?
I just don't.
Right. That's
Applause.
exactly right. That's what I would have done.
All right. For those, these are just. Yes.
Something you expect to hear on the
Out
radio.
of the 1700s, right? And what was the other piece? I'm sorry.
9744 coming into the parking lot.
Those are. Anybody else hear anything? You thought you heard Crenshaw or inside? Is that what-
yeah.
She heard Crenshaw.
Interesting. Whitney, anything? And BOBBI-JO, how are we doing on the list?
We just got inside. We just got inside too. Me. Yes. Inside again.
Another one. Interesting piece. Okay. All right. So this is where I get to take a break from the bag. Sorry if I'm too sweaty. You guys don't smell me. So we'll just blame London. How about that?
Thanks.
Perfect. So this place is a little crazy. Every tour stops here as well, but we're going to be discussing things a little bit differently. We're going to be looking at that building over there with the crosses on it. Those are not crosses on the building. Those are earthquake bolts. If you don't know what earthquake bolts are, they're basically turnbuckles. So they go all the way through to the other side, and they go just like that on the other side of the building. If we have another earthquake like what we did in 1886, which we have not, by the way, you can turn those turnbuckles opposite, and it'll tighten the building up so it doesn't incur any further damage. It's a great idea, it just doesn't work. So I bring them up simply because it's part of the reason why we're here. Those are the first set of earthquake bolts that Charleston ever put in. The reason why is because that's the oldest government building in South Carolina. It was finished in 1713. They needed to make sure it was going to be protected in the event that we had another earthquake. So we're here simply because this building would be something that Anne Bonny would recognize. So it was being built at the same time that she was coming here to start her new life. So for those of you that watch the TV shows, you've seen that Boo Buddy, right? So it's the teddy bear with the little blinky light K2 meter in it. So they use that because the child would recognize what that is as a toy and what it would come to it. It's the same principle with this building. Anne would recognize it because we don't have many buildings this old around the city. We have some, but not many. So let's get into the middle of this piece of history. Our history begins right in the middle of the construction. Try to follow me. There's a lot of twists here. So with those twists, I will slow down to make sure everybody grabs them because this is a lot of family moving around. So 1708, which by the way, the building took 10 years to build. For the adults in the room, does that sound like our government? Small building, 10 years? No, not at all. Anyway, so Laura's like, I'm not really sure. So, sorry, I had to point that out. She's not listening to me anyway. She's got the spirit box in.
I'm
So,
listening.
I made a joke.
She hears
about America.
everything.
Wonders of Scotland is what I was hearing in my ear when you were joking about
Oh,
America.
shit. Wow. You want to tell these folks why that's relevant?
I have no idea why that's relevant. I'm sorry.
Didn't you tell me something about being in Scotland?
Oh yeah, no, I saw Ghost in Scotland once.
That's right, you were there.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
German.
I know German, but I was like, there was something about Scotland. I just couldn't remember what it was. Okay. Anyway, back to why we're here. 1708, a young lady moves here from Ireland. Her name is Anne Cormac. She comes here with her father and his mistress. The mistress is Anne's mother. Are you all with me so far? Okay, the three of them are running away from her father's angry wife. So how mad was she that she kicked them out of the country and they had to come out here? There's no airplanes in 1708. That's a long trip by boat. They land in Georgetown. Dad bought a plantation. Mom dies pretty quickly. That means Dad is now sending young Anne down here to sell things from the plantation to keep things afloat. So hence the familiar building. So Anne back home in Ireland was said to be a badass even back then. They say at the age of 7, 8, 9 years old, remember it's pirate lore, nothing is ever going to be exact. They say she killed a servant with a knife to the belly. Can't tell you how many times I've heard servant, knife, and belly from 3 people, and they don't know what the other 2 people have heard. So it happens all the time. Fast forward, the building is done in 13, but by 1715, pirates are starting to come through Charlestown. Anne is stoked. Why is she excited? Because she's going to fall in love with one of these pirates and earn her freedom, just like a man. It's a man's world at this time of the thing. So anyway, first guy she falls in love with is James Bond. I say first guy because there's a handful. That's what makes the story so interesting. We're going to cover them all. James Bonny is a filthy pirate and Dad does not approve. They run away to Jamaica. They get married and Cormac becomes Anne Bonny. That's where the name comes from. So when they get down there, she realizes her new husband is not the Captain Jack Sparrow that she was hoping for. Captain Jack Sparrow is obviously a modern reference. But anyway, this guy turns out to be a privateer. He is a spy for the British. So he's a coward. This isn't who she wants. She falls in love again. Guy number 2. This is John Rackham. Everybody calls him Calico Jack. We'll discuss why he's called Calico Jack later on, but this is the guy that they based your Johnny Depp character off of, in case you were wondering who this is. He's a real person. He has his own ship, he has his own crew, and wants to be part of the crew, but you can't put a female on a pirate ship. Does anybody know why? Keep in mind we have kids in the room. Keep it family friendly.
40K.
Bad luck.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
It's bad luck to put a female on a pirate ship. So, he makes a deal with her. If you dress like the crew and look like them, you can be part of it. But you're going to be a female in my quarters. She's okay with this. Why? Dad used to cross-dress her as a boy apprentice back home in Ireland to hide her from his wife. So she gets it. It's a man's world again, but she's a pirate now. Most of the adults in the room, we can put 2 and 2 together. She's a female in pirate's quarters, in Jack's quarters. So she's eventually going to get pregnant. You cannot have a pregnant pirate dude on the crew. Somebody's going to figure out that she's a girl. Jack decides he's going to drop her off from Cuba before she starts to show her pregnancy. We'll have the baby over here, come back later, and we'll figure it out. She goes and has that baby, but returns without a child. We have no idea what happens to the baby, by the way. She comes back dressed as a female. This makes Jack pretty angry because everybody's going to know he let a female on the crew. And they're going to probably vote him off the ship. He captured another pirate crew while she was gone giving birth. She's going to go flirting with that pirate crew because they're captured down below deck. Guy number 3. Guy number 3 turns out to be a female, dressed like a guy. To be part of the pirate crew the Calico Jack just captured. So now we have 2 females, dressed like males, on the same ship, trying to be pirates. This young lady's name is Mary Reed. She went by Mark Reed to become a pirate. Her and Mary became friends, possibly lovers. We're not going to really know for sure, but the British find out where they are. They send an entire fleet of ships to come take down one pirate ship. The rumor is that Anne and Mary were the only 2 pirates that weren't drunk enough to come up and fight with 1-bullet flintlocks, kind of like the same kind of guns they use for dueling. Just kind of give you that idea. Obviously, 2 ladies trying to take on a fleet of ships with 1-bullet guns is not going to work out. They get arrested. As they're being arrested, she looks at Jack, Anne does, and she says, "I'm so sorry to see you here, but if you would have fought like a man, you wouldn't be hanged like a dog." The word dog shows up on your spirit boxes a lot, just so you know. The judge wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back so violently. Now, what word do you have?
Just horrible.
Oh, you have the word dog. I was going to be excited. But anyway, he wants to see the 2 quote-unquote men that fought back. He's already tried and hung Calico Jack and the drunk pirates that wouldn't fight, so they're dead and gone. The 2 ladies go in front. They reveal their gender, hoping to save themselves. The judge does not give a shit that they're female. They're still pirates. He's still going to hang them. We plead our bellies was the last thing they shouted because you can't hang a pregnant woman in 1720. It's illegal. He sends them both back to jail, delays the hanging. Dad is still up here in South Carolina with all of his Irish money. Or all of his, he's going to basically bail out Anne and bring her back home. She remarries after she gets back up here. That's husband number 2, but guy number 4. We're going to count Mary because we don't really know, just so you guys have that inkling of thought. She has 4 kids and dies at the age of 84. Very abrupt ending for Anne Bonny because we don't know much about her after her pirate career. Mary Read dies 5 months later in that Jamaican jail from whatever pirates die from in a Jamaican jail. Use your imagination. Most books will tell you it was something fever. I usually say call it romantic scurvy. Why the hell not? We're talking pirates. So here's what I left out of the story. I'm not going to assign questions here. This is also not a prominent English woman where you have to tiptoe around your questions. Poke the bear here. She's a kick-ass pirate, right? So here's what I left out. I left out the name of Anne Bonny's parents on purpose. So that's the father and the mistress. I also left out the name of Calico Jack's ship, so you can ask about that. The name of the city where Anne grew up in Ireland has been coming up more and more lately, and the color of her hair. You can also ask any other question you want to in this location. Again, poke the bear. EMF readings in this location. Do not get excited at the front of this space because of the electrical poles in the corners. So that would be Mike and Cody. Again, if you guys get things up in those corners, I'm probably not going to write it down, especially if it's between a 3 to a 7. So your baseline here is going to be a 2.5, and we'll see what we can get normally on this back half. We only have 1 vehicle in here, but as you can see, tours like to cut through here. People look at you weird. Again, you're the weirdos. So again, we'll do 1 or 2 round robins in here to see what we have going on. So Lydia, just so you know, the largest orb I've ever caught here, intelligent orb, has been at this location with your camera. 11 years of doing this, it was larger than my head. So, and it was near that brick wall up there by the powder magazine itself. So
That's right, they had the gunpowder in there, right?
it's a museum now, so you can actually spend $5 and get out of our heat for 5 minutes, for 30 minutes, and go take the tour in there for $5. Like I usually promote that place because it's so cheap and it's a great piece of our history. So again, if you need to get out of our cold or our heat, it's a great spot to go to. Your camera loves to act up in here. Let me know if you see like old school staticky lines, like an old tube TV. We get that every once in a while on this location. Not often, but every once in a while. Just that's one of the things I like to give. Whitney, have you heard anything yet?
I just said my child. I heard correctional officer when you were talking about the prison.
Didn't it say it's self-eroded? I was talking about when you got pregnant.
Yeah, talking about the women dressing up as men and I heard it's
So what do you think, Damon? A lot different than what you were expecting?
I don't know. This is exactly what I was expecting. I'm having a great time.
Well, normally, because again, this is not a typical bookstore.
No.
So,
That's why I booked it. It sounded awesome. And it is.
When
I'm
I get a
great.
skeptic like
It's
you,
amazing.
I'm like, I need to give him something very scientific that's going to be really legit. and see
Well,
what we get out
actually,
of it.
you might find this entertaining. I spent a lot of time working on LiDAR scanners and things like that.
Oh, nice. So you understood how that one actually worked already. So you can see that at least I'm giving the full honest attempt out here.
Yeah, it's
So-
cool. It's fun.
But what's funny is a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago now, I'm sorry, I actually had a whole team of thermologists.
Thermologists.
That's
Funny.
all they work on.
Oh, that's
is
great.
stuff for FLIR.
Oh, that's
Like,
amazing.
so
They probably saw that on your TripAdvisor page.
Well, the
or
guy
something.
that booked it, I think he did, but he didn't really focus on it. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
brought their trainer with them. Like he was
Okay.
part of the team.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm going to refer this straight to you, and you're going to tell me if I'm explaining this to layman people every day properly. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, I could have said it better myself, man. He's like, you keep it nice and simple, tell them what they're looking at. So,
Awesome.
but yeah, we've got
Lots of
great
fun.
evidence with that piece. I just can't wait to upgrade it to a damn iPad. Nice and big. Jackson, looks like you got something to tell me, man.
Yes, sir. So earlier, trying to address the sensitivity thing, something like this.
Okay, what number did you use? What was the highest? Okay.
Still looking pretty hot here. that true?
I think so. This is light clear or what? Yes, layer. I just heard pan? Yes.
What are you listening to?
So much is coming through clearly. It's really unnerving.
Oh, that's fun.
For my information. I'm listening. Wait. Ask her what happened to that baby.
And she asked how the baby died. Stop breathing.
I can't prove that. That's definitely an answer.
My mom always was like, die, stop breathing.
Yeah, right? Alright, how's she doing over here? She getting anything weird?
Oh, she's having a good time.
What do you got?
Everything is really clear. It's really unnerving. Look, no answers.
That you know of. Remember, I'm withholding information.
I just said to everyone here.
I'm getting a lot of that.
I'm getting a lot of listen to me. I'm like, I'm listening. Say something.
The thing is, Whitney's poking the bear, did you kill your baby kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, don't poke that hard. So.
Well, I led with what color was your hair? I'm pretty sure it was red. Yeah.
Did you get red? Or you just assumed?
No, I'm just presuming it was red. One of my good friends is named Anne, and she has red hair.
So that makes it okay.
That makes it okay.
This space is usually really good or really bad. It gives us a lot or nothing.
You said this starts to give you problems though if I record too long. I don't know.
Yeah, so,
I'm at 34 now.
Just stop it.
Stop and start.
Yeah, you got it.
I can do that.
So when I was standing next to the person with the red spirit box that you were filming us, and there was a white film that went over them. Their spirit box shut off and stopped working. We left. It was up in that corner, so we came over here.
Yeah.
It turned back on again. There was no lapse in the recording, and it was already sweeping, and the white static went away. So it's kind of like, okay, again, unexplainable, but it's definitely something uncanny that I have to report.
Fun.
So we had that again. It was like 3 or 4 weeks later after that.
I just got "don't go to sleep," which is really a unnerving thing to hear.
I think she's looking for those unnerving things
I
at
feel
this
like I'm
point.
being threatened.
This is where
And
usually
now
one.
you just got why. Like, what did you do to make yourself feel threatened? This is the most activity I've had. Guilty pleasures.
Yeah, we get that a lot. It shows up a lot this late, so I throw those away. Of course, the word guilty, when we're talking about Anne Bonny's trial, she was found guilty of piracy. So it's a vague stretch, but that's a phrase that we hear all the time. So it's like the word Charleston. It's just that common. You're listening to Charleston radio stations,
Yeah.
and there's a million guilty pleasure stores. They advertise all the time, so I throw those away.
The one weird thing I heard was Dr. Miller.
But you heard the word doctor.
Quite clearly Dr. Miller with like a German accent, which was a little unnerving. Like Müller, not like the Muller in German.
All right, let me follow up with Whitney one more time and kind of see what we got going on. Lauren, you got anything?
Do we need to get you a spirit box here?
Yes! I'm pretty sure Hanoi is haunting our house.
Oh, you think so?
I got married. Mariah married. But you know what? I thought
Any more weird spots on yours?
He was saying you might get like vertical noise, which I started getting now.
I think that's what it was doing in the alley, wasn't it?
So like, you get these
Oh,
like
yeah.
vertical lines. So.
What's the name of the ship?
Keep catching my shadow. I'm like, oh crap, there's something.
Spirits, tell me the name of the ship. Here? Thank.
So all these ghosts are just empty hammers these days, just like.
Oh yeah, 4.
Yeah, I had 6 whales up there. 6, 8.
Whitney, you got anything else? All right, Jackson, come on in, buddy. While we are away.
Sorry.
No, you want to keep down. You're keeping down.
Okay.
That's when you're going to be here.
Okay.
So, with that said, when I give you guys this extra gear, like you're going to have a headset or blindfold, you're going to have a VR headset on. Do not put this gear on because if I'm blindfolding females in the middle of a dark park in the middle of the night, it never looks good. When we come back, we're going to go right over to that little statue over there. We're going to come back after I give them the 5-minute history, and I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks that you guys are going to need to listen to so that way you know what to expect. So again, this is not a normal thing like you would just randomly do. So you're going to need to kind of know what to expect out of a whole ordeal. So London may explain a little bit more further to you while you guys are sitting here. If you guys want to ask her questions,
My daughter was
London came over. London's going to help you out with the blindfold.
I think Michael has this.
He does.
She'll help you out with this. She knows how to blindfold. It's disposable. We don't put your eyes on your back. So, like London will take the wrapper.
Can you take my glasses off the line to get me ready?
You're going to be blindfolded.
I'm just saying. I wouldn't be able to see.
All right, you guys ready to learn the history? All right, we're going to go this way. Have fun.
Yeah.
I'm working on your guys' data. I should come to the office. You can go clean out my damn bag. She'll be fine, Damon, I promise.
Oh, yeah.
I know
No,
you're like keeping an eye on her.
No, I'm.
This cut off a few seconds.
Oh. The plug-in didn't like that. All right, so
just want to catch it if anybody sits down on next.
I know, right? So when we get over there, just so you guys know, so let's crowd in a little bit because people like to pass through here. I know it's hot, but this is our last stop. Your shirt, like I feel like that's what my shirt looks like. You guys can't see it.
Feels amazing.
So when we do get over there, this is exactly what we're going to do. We're going to crowd around them in a nice, perfect half moon shape. So Lydia, you're going to be filming mainly on them because they're going to want to see all of this later because I'm still not going to tell them the history even after we're done unblindfolding them. When we take stuff off, they're going to have to get all the data from them later from your video and my audio. So you're going to be filming straight on them. The other two cameras, by all means, you'll be able to film wherever you want. You guys get the point. Hers is just more clear without stick figures in the way, and we'll be able to see it clearly because you're looking at these signatures. So when I first came here for the first time, no idea what to expect. There's a million monuments in here, so I didn't know what to find. This is the new space of the year. This is how I research when I get a small group in November, because after Halloween is when I start looking for that new space. I brought two people in here. They're using a spirit box. I had the digital word list that BOBBI-JO has, and the person with the spirit box heard the phrase 1828 and the name Henry. I had the name Tim that showed up on my word list. Behind me is Henry Timrod, born in 1828. So I went, well, hot damn, there's my ghost. Again, you can't get any more specific than that. We didn't even know what we were going to be expecting when we came in here. So what you guys need to know about him are just a few things. First off, he's a writer, and being born in 1828, he's sick through most of his life, but he also wants to go fight for the Civil War for the Confederate side. He's from Charleston. So he goes out to the battlefield, and his comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent him home knowing he was a writer and said, go be the voice of the war. Go tell people what's going on out here in the battlefield. He came home to Charleston and started writing poetry about what was going on in the battlefield. He became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. That's a pretty prestigious title for us writers. However, a few more years go by, he has a son. The son's name is Willie. He was born on Christmas Eve, and he dies 9 months later. So very specific details about him that I'm going to be asking about when we get over there that they don't know about. Now, that's obviously a very big tragedy for him and his wife, Katie. So he's not writing as much as what he normally would. And his colleague from college realizes this. He's another author. His name is Paul Hamilton. And he says, go out to my cottage in Columbia. You can finish working on the piece you're supposed to be working on for your publication. And, leave Katie behind with her parents to mourn for your son, Willie. Now, he goes out there. That's where he wrote his last words. His last words were beholder of brief mortality. Translates to person with a short life. Timrod was only 38 at the time. Then he coughed and it landed on the page in a blood stain. That blood, he had tuberculosis, in case you were wondering what his disease was. That blood stain looks like a man writing at his desk. So we call this the Blood Book here in Charleston. We show it one day a year at the Charleston Library Society where his collection is being held, and it's only shown on Halloween. You have to be a member of the society to be able to go see it, but the internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you the page, and then we're going to go talk to Laura as if she's Henry Timrod, and then hopefully Lauren is going to have supplemental type of visions to be able to tell us about during this whole session. So let me get out this picture, and then we will go talk to them. Looks like London is being very entertaining right now. She's a theater kid, in case you guys were wondering. But you'll see how, this is a very big deal around here.
Oh, weird.
So, obviously the blood stain looks just like a man writing at his desk.
No.
Yeah, you never saw this. That's why you're studying, focus on me so hard. But to me, this tells the whole story. Beholder of brief mortality, cough, cough, death.
Yeah.
He leaves a mark that looks like that. Come on. It doesn't get any bloodier and gooder than this, right? All right, let's go. What do you got?
Oh, yeah, the disco and all that. They put those things out.
That's interesting. Go ahead and do a hard reset for me. Let's get that thing started fresh. So, remember, a couple of things. I definitely want you guys paying attention to your word list. So Jackson, same thing for you. I want you to tell me if anything starts to spell out. Cody, you're super important during this, along with Mike. Where are you at? Because I want to see if there's any EMF going on as you're giving us correct answers. Whitney, definitely continue to listen in, and you can kind of whisper out what you're hearing out of it as I'm asking questions. So kind of keep that in mind. Definitely keep filming on your end, so everybody's got their role. Let me go. You guys are going to have to listen to the tips and tricks when I give them, so you guys understand how this works. Let's go talk to the group.
Get a little breeze now.
I know, right? London, for a brief moment, can you please take Damon's camera from him because he's going to have to help here for just a second. All right, ladies.
There we go.
So a couple of things. So tips and tricks. We're only going to keep you two under for 10 minutes. Any more than that is going to be a little bit more disorienting. So 10 minutes. It's not going to feel like 10 minutes to either one of you. Most people say that it feels more like 2 to 3.
Okay.
So just so you have that idea. We're going to start with you. So you're going to be blindfolded. The minute we get those noise canceling headphones over top of you, which Damon's going to do, I'm never going to touch you. So once you put those on, that's when the timer starts. You're going to start hearing things, and that's when you're going to just recite it in real time. It's also okay to answer in yes/no answers if you hear them. You have no idea what I'm asking. I might ask our ghost if I'm wearing a gray shirt to verify that it's you. I'm expecting a yes answer if that makes sense. So again, everything you're hearing in real time. Don't forget to talk.
Don't forget to talk.
Yeah, a lot of people forget to talk. The other piece is, once you get those earbuds in, find a comfortable volume. Don't touch your spirit box. We want to make sure you're not cheating by turning the volume down, if that makes sense. A lot of people like to try to fiddle with that and cheat. So we see that in the past. So not to say that you're going to do that, but we want to make sure.
Okay.
Secondly, Lauren. Come on, break down. So I'm going to put my phone in there. Have you guys all seen AI generate an image?
Yeah.
Most of you? All right, perfect. You're going to be giving us brief descriptions of what you're seeing.
Okay.
You're going to have a black smoke background. Have you ever used one of these before?
Yes, my brother has one.
Perfect. So I'm going to direct you once we get my phone in there. So that way you can, I'm going to tell you where to point your head, because your head's the mouse, remember. So I'll tell you where to point your head, and then you're going to see gray smoke. You're going to tell us everything that's not gray smoke. You're going to see a park with a tree and 12 people standing in it. That's all you're going to say, because I'm going to be focused on herd communication. You're also going to hear my questions. So again, when I say we're done, nobody's going to tap. Oh, by the way, the taps for you, by the way, are going to be when we're done, you're going to get a tap on the leg from him. That's take your own gear off. I'm never going to touch you. Secondly, if you're too loud, he's going to tap you on the shoulder.
Okay.
So that means for near neighbors, you need to quiet down a little bit.
Okay.
In the event you're not loud enough, he may lift your earmuffs up and say louder. So those are your 3 cues. You got those? So you're going to be able to obviously hear us, and I'll say, Lauren, go ahead and take off your headgear. So for you, it's earbuds, or no, I'm sorry, blindfold first, then earbuds, and then he's going to help you with those noise canceling headphones. We're going to set up my phone for you. And then we're all going to be literally in a half moon circle. So if we can kind of get into that half moon. What do you have on there?
It says F-U.
We don't have the rest of the word yet. So,
Fun.
I know, right? So guys, if we can get into that half moon circle, when the other tours come through here, I don't like them to see like what we have going on. So I'm just that weird guy. Blindfolding women in the dark part. So. I know, right? We're like, I'm good with it. Alright, so Damon, you're up after she gets those earbuds in. I'll take your device in just a second so I can slide the phone in there. When you get in there, you're going to have a dot at the bottom that says ready. And then there's going to be 3 dots. Oh, by the way, your controls are right here for focus. And then there's 2 little buttons right here where you can push it in and out. So when you put that on your head, and everything's been sanitized, don't worry. So there you go. See it now?
Okay.
You should be able to look down and see it's ready. Yep, so hold it there till the circle's full. Okay, look up.
I keep getting Jonathan.
3 circles at the bottom.
Okay.
Another one on the left that says Seer Session.
Okay.
Hold it there. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, now you should see some black smoke.
It's blue. Everything's blue and white.
Perfectly fine. Is the world spinning?
No. It's just blue and there's white. Like it's like a big oak.
I love how you put the glasses on her. That's amazing.
She did that herself.
Yes. Can you hear me? Laura, can you hear me? Laura, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You need to turn up your volume.
Sort of.
Turn up your volume.
What?
Turn up the volume.
What?
Turn it up.
The volume.
Turn it
You
up.
want me to talk louder?
No, turn up the volume.
Oh.
So you can't hear us.
I can't hear you.
You said you could. Turn it up a hair.
Okay.
What is that? Sorry.
Okay, what do you see?
I don't know. Looks like a bloody hand.
Oh, okay. You guys can see how this works now, right? This is all going down.
Can you hear us, dear?
Laura, can you hear me? Perfect. Okay, she can hear us. We're good. So, it is 11:16. We are officially begun.
What's that firework?
Henry Timrod, can you tell us about what's going on with the image you just sent us? Can you tell us what that is? Henry? You're not supposed to know yet.
There's like an abandoned like prison with like or house.
Henry Timrod, can you push through and tell us your occupation, please?
Oh, what is the what is bodies? Ew. Okay, there's something 16
Henry Timrod, can you tell us? I'm not hearing anything.
We're sick and tired of hearing about it.
Henry, are you tired of me coming here night after night to talk to you? That's a yes or no. This is the guy that's a little irritated with me, by the way, just so you
We're
guys
walking
know.
through.
Who's we? Tell us who else is here. Henry, who else is with you tonight?
I'm a person.
Okay. We are also people, and we're trying to talk to you. We want to learn about your life. It's fascinating. Tell us your occupation,
You have to
please.
be willing.
Tell us your occupation. Mother Joe, you watching the work? Sometimes these answers are great to you. Henry Timrod, tell us your occupation, please.
No.
Are you Henry Timrod? Henry Timrod, are you here? Or are you somebody else? Kind of weird, isn't it?
I'm going to show you.
How are you going to show us? Are you going to show us through the new green box? Show us who you are.
Lot of hits.
Henry Timrod, I need you to push.
What have you got?
I want you to push through and tell us your occupation. Verification that you are here. Keeping it nice and simple to start like you always do.
I hope your family's enjoying it.
Talk to your directors, you brought extra people this time. Hope your family's enjoying it.
Happen. I'll make it happen.
Henry Timrod, who do we want to speak about tonight? Do we want to talk about your son, or do we want to talk about your wife? Or do we want to talk about you directly?
I will join you
We're hoping you will. We're being respectful.
from Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Oh, a woman, like someone laying down on a
I'm in the shadows.
bed.
Okay.
They look sick.
And he's got somebody on a bed.
Yeah.
Henry, do we want to talk about your wife? That's a yes no question. What time
I
period did
think
that dress look like
everything's
from?
okay.
How long?
You're a magnet. And you're up next.
Henry, you just gave us an image of a woman. Can you tell us who that woman is? You're listening, right?
Can't tell you how many times I've
I,
even said the Lord said.
I know we've talked about your wife before, but I have a new group of folks here that would love to hear directly from you who is in the picture. What is her name?
black room. I didn't catch that.
Henry, she's doing very well, by the way. Like, this is almost conversational.
The answer's not available.
Oh, no shit, you haven't told us anything.
In the building, behind us.
What color is the room that we need to go to? What color is the room?
Love me love.
It's been 5 minutes, so everybody knows how long we've been under. Doesn't feel like that, does it, Lauren? Didn't think so. Henry Timrod, you need to give us a little bit more detail. Who is David? The name has been slipping through quite a bit. I'm going to bypass it and move on. Henry Timrod, tell us the name of the woman that was in the vision that Lauren saw. What is your wife's name?
I've never heard of that location.
You could tell me her maiden name, and I'm okay with that. You know, it's probably easier to tell us her maiden name than it is her first name.
Introduce 230 specific places?
Lots of places. Henry, tell us your wife's maiden name, please. It's Goodwin for everybody's reference, so the word good would actually
A
suffice.
smidge ahead.
What is Katie's maiden name?
Little country.
Your glasses are completely fogged up, by the way, just so you know. Lauren, how you doing over there? Anything crazy? So,
No doubt.
Henry, do we have somebody else here with us that maybe wants to say a few words? Henry, just get back to you then. Tell us your occupation, please. You never did give us that answer. Anything, BOBBI-JO? No?
This is bath.
That's all.
Are we done for the night? That's a yes or no.
But was it really?
Henry.
Alright, we're here again.
Yes, we're always here, every night. Henry, do you want us to leave?
Some people buy the traffic.
Henry, would you like us to leave and go home?
The keys to a nice house. Turn your something, I didn't hear that part, up now.
Henry, would you like us to leave and go home? We're down to about 1 minute, Henry.
As you face us,
You need to tell me if you want us to go home.
we're going to flash at you. Decide what? Oh.
I have the name Victoria.
Wife's name is Katie.
There's lots of stories, lots of books. I've seen so much.
Like lots of books. Henry, we're going to call this quits. So Damon, get ready to tap her out. So in 5, 4, 3.
Let's try again. We're prisoners. We're fortunate to have. We're back.
Henry, this can be too much for us to do for long periods of time. That's why we're only here for 10 minutes. One last call. What else do you want to say before we tap her out?
We're back in the past.
We know that. Okay, Damon. I think it's time to tap her out. Lauren, go ahead and take off your headset.
Look who's walking. Oh, God.
You're supposed to tap a leg.
I got shoulder breath.
Short of breath. Personally?
Dear Lord.